Okay, we're looking at question 1 from the from minitest 3 on arithmetic sequences and series. Okay, so we are told that the arithmetic sequence has a first term a and a common difference d, and we know that's the common notation. So then they start giving us some information about this specific one. So the fourth term, so don't forget your nth term rule for an arithmetic sequence is a plus n minus 1d. So the fourth term is going to be a plus 3d, because n is 4, and they're telling me that that equals minus 2. And the ninth term would be a plus 8d, and that's going to equal minus 22. And there's other ways I'm sure you could figure this out, but you're so much better off just using this formula. That's sort of what they're going to expect you to use, so just make sure you get that memorized. Okay, and I need to find a and d. Well, basically I've now just got two quite straightforward simultaneous equations. So how I would tackle that, if I call that 1 and that 2, I would do equation 2 subtract equation 1. So you don't I'll write them out the correct order. You don't need to necessarily do this. Okay, so if I'm subtracting, I've got minus 22 minus minus 2, so that's going to be minus 20. A minus A is going. 8d minus 3d is 5d, so d is minus 4. And if we look back to what they told us, that makes sense that d is a negative, because the fourth term is higher than the ninth term, so we're going down from term to term. So I'm quite happy that I've got a negative value for d. Okay, so then I'll just go back to either of them. I'll use this one just because the values are slightly less. So minus 2 equals a plus 3d. And now I know that d is 4, sorry, d is minus 4. That's going to be a minus 12. So if I add the 12 over, I get a is 10. So there's my value for d, and there's my value for a. Okay, and then it tells me that the nth term, so I'm looking at part B now. So when they say the nth term, they mean a term in the sequence, and we need to find out what position it is. So again, I'm going to use un is a plus n minus 1d. So I know that this term has a value of 54, sorry, minus 54. I've worked out that a is 10. N is what I'm trying to find, and d is minus 4. So just be really careful there that it looks a bit like it says n minus 1 and then minus 4. So actually, if I were to write that as minus 4 times n minus 1, it would just maybe make the whole thing a bit clearer. So all I've got to do is find n. So let's multiply out those brackets. Be really careful. That's going to be plus 4 because it's minus 4 times minus 1. So the 10 plus 4 is 14. So if I minus 14 from the left-hand side, I get minus 4n is minus 68. So if I do minus 68 divided by minus 4, I get n is 17. And that had to be the case. N had to be a positive integer. A and d don't. But if we're talking about the position in a sequence, it has to be a positive integer. Is that the whole question? Yep, job done.